kids, it's Rowan again, and I'm trying a little bit of different lighting to see how this looks with, there we go, with my, my lovely black and white filters. And so, I decided that today's video is going to be the 10 Ungoth confessions, and then I'm going to do another one as a nod to Of Herbs and Altars. She did, with her Ungoth confessions, did a second one, or did a second part to that. Hello, kitty. Hello, 4 feet here. With the Ultra Goth confession, so I'm going to do a second part too. So, the first part, my 10 Ungoth confessions. So, first, I've got a Prince tattoo. Oh, it's upside down, but, so I've got a Prince tattoo. I have been a fan of Prince since I was about 10. Actually, I got into Prince before I got into David Bowie. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood in... Quit it! In Toledo, so, you know, that's what I was exposed to first, and I've known a lot of, you know, African Americans who will say, you know, like, oh yeah, Prince was our David Bowie. When you were weird, you know, and black, you listened to Prince. So yeah, you listen to David Bowie too, but, you know, Prince you related to. And I'm like, yeah, that's, you know, I mean, I got Prince first. Item 2 is... rather than well, I love the 80s with music and fashion and decor to an extent. It's not as much of an extent as I love the 20s and the 60s and pop art and Art Deco, and I love it. It's probably my favorite thing, is I love the pop art and the Art Deco, just the stark colors and contrasts and geometry. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Item number 3 is peacocks. You don't see a whole lot going on in the back, really, because I have yet to paint the wall. But I've got peacocks on a lot of things, and actually, no, I don't have that notepad in my bag right now, but I've got a lot of peacocks. In fact, a lot of friends, you know, will be like, you know, they'll see peacocks on things and they'll know to get it for me. And it's not a very goth bird, but it's my favorite bird. I love the peacocks. Which leads me to item number 4, which is kind of an in-joke. So, a lot of goths about my age will have, you know, a sort of, you know, like 2 or 3 year block where, you know, usually from the late 20s to the early 30s, where they're not into goth for a brief time because, you know, you just have to take a break from the scene and do something different. And you have to do, you know, you just kind of shake things up, just take a break from goth for a few years and just do something different. With me, it was mod revival and ska. I even DJ'd at a night here in Ypsilanti, Direct Hits. I've got a couple posters from that, when, basically I was an alternate DJ, because I love the music. I love the music, you know, even, you know, when I was really into gothic stuff, you know, the first time around, when I was, you know, late teens, young 20s goth, the first DVD I bought was Quadrophenia, so there we go. Number 5, my favorite Tim Burton film is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. This was also the first Tim Burton film I ever watched, and it was my favorite film when I was about 5 or 6. And it was my favorite film from when I was about 5 or 6 until the time I was about 12. And I saw Nosferatu the first time. So... So yes, you know, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that's my favorite Tim Burton movie. Yeah, it's a bit darker and creepier than, you know, Pee-wee's Playhouse, obviously, and not as raunchy as the Pee-wee Herman Show from the Roxy Theater, in Los Angeles. The Broadway version, it's not as raunchy as the original, but, you know, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, best Tim Burton film, if you ask me, and it's my favorite Tim Burton film. Yes, I love Sweeney Todd, I love Edward Scissorhands, but Pee-wee's Big Adventure, best Tim Burton. Number 6, I've seen a few, goths on YouTube who, have, they're just like, yeah, I'm kind of lukewarm on Graveyard Girl, but I love her, It's like, I need some cheering up, I'll just put on, like, just a random video of hers, and she's just so genuinely perky. It's like, and it's not nauseatingly so either. It's just like, this is coming from a genuine place. She's just very genuinely, she just seems so very genuinely sweet and perky, and, she just has this radiance about her that will just cheer you up if you're feeling blue. Number 7 is, I have no problem if you're a teenager and you're just going through a goth phase. If you outgrow it, I don't care. I don't care, As, I don't even care if you don't actually get into the music and you just sort of dress the part and call yourself a goth for a few years. I don't care, because, time will sort itself out, who's really, a part of the subculture and who isn't, and I just don't give a shit about the kids going through phases. Just like I don't give a shit about the kids, experimenting with non-binary genders, on Tumblr. It's like, I don't care. I don't care, best case situation, they just, discover they are, trans of some sort, and, but even if it is a phase, it's, assuming it's a phase with these kids with the genders on Tumblr, assuming it's a phase, best case scenario, they will outgrow it, and they'll just be more accepting of people who have alternative genders, or who are, more classically trans, being, trans women and trans men. Worst case scenario, they'll, but, whatever. Kids experiment with their identity, so I don't give a shit if you're going through a phase. Everybody does. You go through a phase about something at some point in your life. You just have to, test your limits for yourself, so I don't care. I don't care about kids getting phases. That's what you do when you're young. Shit, that's what you do when you're older sometimes. You just gotta push the limits of your identity and figure out who you are, and that's how you do it, is by experimenting, and if you want to call it a phase, fine. Number 8. I dislike Victorian clothing. I dislike it on myself especially, but I'm not the biggest fan of it on other people. I mean, there are some ways you can make it look alright, but it just, as far as the movement, the fashion movements in the Victorian era, they had, the very restrictive, even in menswear, it was very restrictive clothing, and it seems to be the embodiment of everything that was uptight and repressed about that era, and this is, put into, fashion. You're wearing how uptight that whole era was, and, while working at a historical society, museum, I've seen some raunchy ass shit in the we've got a peep show box. We've got a peep show box. We've got a PG, picture in the peep show box, but we've got other slides for the peep show box. It can get raunchy. But no, it's like, your average Victorian person was very uptight, very repressed, and Victorian eras of fashion, they seem to embody this, and I don't like Victorian fashion, so that is very ungoth of me. Number 9, I put down that it's not exactly a stereotype, but you see a lot of you see a lot of overlap of goths being vegan, and I am not. I'm probably going to do a video about this, because there are a lot of very solid good reasons as for why I am not a vegan, and I hope everybody can, accept and respect these, but I am not. And, this is all for very good reasons. I will advocate for, vegans, I don't care, if other people are vegan. On several ideological levels, I can agree with it, it's just, I cannot be vegan, so I'm not, because, and lastly, I hate platform boots. I especially hate them on myself, of course, and, you know, but I will silently judge you if you're wearing them because they are ugly as shit. New Rock boots, ugly. Ugly, ugly boots. Demonia boots, ugly and cheaply made in comparison to New Rocks. I don't like the look. I don't like the look. You know, you've got the platforms that are this high up. They're gaudy as shit. I mean, yes, I've got, you know, these shoes that I got, and they've got a little bit of a platform, but I love the stiletto heel. I do. So, you know, I like the stiletto heel look a lot better, but I hate those chunky-ass New Rock platforms they're horrid. They're horrid. I don't know who thought this looked good, and I especially don't know why it caught on. I really don't know why it caught on, because... Oh! And all such of those boots, you know, they say these are different styles, but they all look the same. They all just have this very samey look to them, and I don't like it. I like nice shoes. I like nice shoes. I definitely have a preference for flats myself, but, you know, that's my own personal thing. As far as heels go, I like the look of stilettos. I'm barely able to walk in stilettos, but, you know, as far as a heel goes, I like a nice, you know, like 2-inch heel. I love a box toe. I love a Cuban heel. I love a thick, stocky Cuban heel. But platform boots, oh god, platform boots, I hate them so very much. I really do. And those are my Ungoth confessions. The companion video I will make in a bit. And I love you.